Dot Corruption, a LitRPG by J.M. Foley, a.k.a. Artie. Chapter 8, Dead Man Talking. Two shapes crouched over a pile of meat that might have been human once. Their spines arched too high, shoulders jutting like broken wings. Milky eyes snapped toward us in perfect unison, lips peeling back over teeth like yellow glass. Two ghouls, both level 10, Arvellin said. Here they come. I made a mental note to ask how he knew that, what level they were. Probably some inspect mechanic that the tutorial would have gone over. As the ghouls started making their way toward us in a slow, creepy-as-fuck manner, we heard a low groan echoing from somewhere deeper in the room. Figures shambled into the torchlight, slack-jawed, gray-skinned, moving with that lazy inevitability. Great, there's more, Brand said. Just zombies, Arvellin replied. That's a lot of just zombies, I muttered. They're only level 3, Brand said. The ghouls are a real problem. Oh, and I'm only level 2, by the way. Shit. I still hadn't checked my notifications. Between Lilia's breakdown and the NPC weirdness, it had completely slipped my mind. I was kicking myself now. I needed to run through the level-up process the second this fight was over. Yeah, it's fine. We were only expecting level 2s and 3s here, so I didn't think your level would matter much, Arvellin said. Focus on the zombies. Bran and I will each hold a ghoul. Jump in when you're clear. Got it. Zombie duty with Lilia while they hold aggro on the ghouls. Let's do this. Bran and Arvellin darted forward to meet the ghouls head-on. Bran was a blur. Low, fast, weaving in and out of the ghoul's reach. His dagger flickered like sparks off stone, each strike snapping for joints and tendons before he vanished out of claw range. Arvellin hung back half a step, his mannequin surging forward in his place. The little wooden frame hefted a comically oversized warhammer, so big it looked like it would tip the thing over, and swung it in a wide, crushing arc. The blow caught the ghoul mid-leap and slammed it into the wall hard enough to leave a crater of cracked stone. Arvellin's hands twitched in precise, practiced motions, shadows spilling from his fingertips to coil around the ghoul's ankle, yanking it just far enough off balance for the mannequin's neck swing to land clean. A thin flash of light followed, some kind of ward, flickering over the mannequin's body as he reinforced it between strikes. I pivoted toward the corridor the zombies were spilling out of and charged. A shadow bolt flared from my hand mid-sprint, slamming into the lead zombie. The impact staggered it, shadows clinging to its legs and slowing it down, and, to my surprise, it actually took a decent chunk of HP. I closed the gap to a different zombie, blade sweeping low and hard. It split clean in half at the waist, both halves collapsing in opposite directions with a wet slap. One shot with a heavy attack. Perfect. There were a lot of these guys, but they weren't that tough, not like the Plague Bear. Lilia's staff flared, launching a sphere of green light at the slowed zombie. It exploded on impact, the blast dropping it instantly and leaving it a heap of twitching limbs. I turned looking for the next one. Echo, look out, Lilia shouted, right before agony flared through my shoulder. A zombie had sunk its teeth deep, tearing away flesh and muscle in a single wrenching pull. HP, 100% down to 83%. I screamed, jerking forward and whipping around to face it. Lilia was already mid-cast, eyes locked on me. Touch of nature, HP, plus 2% per second for 10 seconds. Thanks, Lilia. Pissed off, I swung my sword across in a single vicious arc. The zombie's head came free in a spray of black ichor. Critical hit. The body crumpled while the head sailed into the wall, bouncing off in a disgusting squish. Just a couple more left. Lilia's voice rose in a chant, and thick vines burst through cracks in the stone, coiling around the last two zombies. I charged the nearer one and cut it down in a single swing while Lilia finished the other with another green bolt, the magic punching clean through its chest. I took a moment to catch my breath, letting my stamina bar crawl back up from about half. After I regained about 20% of my stamina back, I moved to back up Brand. He was starting to look like he needed it. Arvellin, on the other hand, seemed perfectly in control. Whether that was raw skill or the fact that his pet was doing most of the fighting for him, I couldn't tell. Bran gave me a quick nod as I moved in to flank the ghoul with him. It noticed me immediately, snapping toward me and lashing out with a blur of claws. Clang! I caught the first strike on my blade, but the second came faster, raking across my chest. Sharp talons tore through leather and flesh, the force knocking me backward. HP, 96% down to 65%. Fuck, that's right, this thing is level 10. Lilia gave a focused look and began casting another heal. Back on me, ugly, Bran barked at the ghoul, trying to pull its attention away. He must have seen just how badly that hit wrecked me. Not that he was breezing through it himself, Bran was only level 8. Lilia's spell burst against my skin, a wave of warmth chasing the pain out of my chest. Nature's Embrace, HP, plus 28%. HP increased from 65% up to 93%. Lilia let out a sigh as I grunted and pushed myself upright, eyes flicking back to the fight. The ghoul's attention was firmly on Bran again. I had to be more careful, memorize the ghoul's attack patterns, or Lilia would burn through her mana, keeping me alive. Bran caught a hit, the claws raking across his side despite his best effort to dodge and parry. There was my window. The ghoul lunged to follow up, its claws already coming around for a combo. I came in from behind, bringing my longsword down and burying the blade into its back. It let out a wet and gurgling howl as I wrenched the sword free. The creature scuttled backwards on all fours, putting distance between us, pale eyes flicking from Bran to me as it crouched in the corner. Across the room, our villain's fight was already ending. His mannequin had the other ghoul pinned against the wall, its massive hammer raised high. A coil of shadow snaked from our villain's hand, wrapping around the ghoul's throat and holding it perfectly still. The hammer came down. Once. Twice. The second hit was a sickening crunch, and the ghoul went limp before its HP hit 0. Our villain barely looked winded. Our ghoul wasn't going down as easy. Bran lunged in first, feinting low to draw its guard, and Lilia's vines erupted from the stone to tangle its legs. That was my cue. I charged, sword swinging in a downward arc that bit deep into its shoulder. Bran followed up instantly, both daggers punching into its chest. The ghoul thrashed, shrieking, but Lilia's magic held. I raised my blade high and brought it down in a final strike, splitting its skull in half. We all just stood there in silence for a moment, the only sound our breathing and the faint drip of water somewhere in the dark. Then Bran finally spoke, not really asking, more like stating the obvious. What the fuck happened here? There's a crypt in the woods near here, Lilia said, her tone almost helpful, like she was answering a tutorial prompt. It's meant to be a higher level zone for this area. Something seekers tackle after finishing village quests and gaining some experience. With the NPCs acting weird, breaking routines, they must just be wandering now, following instinct, our villain added. That made sense. Speaking of experience, I totally forgot to level up after my last fight, I said. Gonna do that now while we're catching our breath, if that's okay with everyone. Totally fine by me, Bran said, rubbing his side. That thing kicked my ass. I need a break even if you don't. Bran and I both chuckled. Our villain had finally relaxed, the tight focus gone from his expression. In its place was something else, the quiet satisfaction of someone who'd just overcome a tough fight. That spark in his eyes wasn't arrogance, but the unmistakable thrill of a player who lived for the challenge. Good work, by the way, our villain said. I can't believe that ghoul didn't one-shot you, Mr. Level 2. It was a tease, but there was pride behind it, the kind that said that he was glad we were on the same team. Honestly, same, I replied, then opened my notifications. Ding, you have reached level 8. You feel stronger, sharper, more aware of the aether that flows through the world, plus 6 attribute points, plus 6 skill points. To allocate attribute points, open your character sheet. To allocate skill points, open your skill tree. Holy shit, I was already level 8? I guess it made sense. That fucking bear was level 12 and these ghouls were level 10. Even with the split experience from being in a party, that was a ton for a low-level player like me. Plus a bunch of regular zombies, that XP pool adds up. Let's see, where to put my points. Attributes first. I opened my character sheet and scrolled to the attributes section. Attributes. Strength, 8. Dexterity, 5. Intelligence, 8. Piety, 3. Vitality, 6. Endurance, 6. Wisdom, 4. Focus, 7. Luck, 5. Resistance, 5. Charisma, 4. With all the crazy shit going on, it might be smart to pump up my health a bit, especially if we kept running into over-leveled monsters in lower-level zones. I put 2 points into Vitality. More stamina would also be welcome. 2 points into Endurance. And let's finish it off with a point into Strength and Intelligence each. That left me with Strength, 9. Intelligence, 9. Vitality, 8. Endurance, 8. Maybe I'd put a point into Focus next level. Being staggered hadn't been a problem yet, but it would be a hell of a problem if I need it and don't have an attribute point ready to spend. We'll see when we get there, I suppose. Next, skill points. I opened my skill tree, eyes scanning the branching lines. Shadow Bolt had been pulling its weight, so that was an easy choice. 2 points into it. I needed a heavier hit in my kit, something that could really hurt if landed. Race Slash fit the bill, 2 points there. That left 2 more. I dropped them into Wraithbind. Better to have a second way to apply a slow instead of relying solely on Shadow Bolt's long cooldown. Alright, I'm good. Whenever you guys are ready. No rush, I said. By the way, how did you know what level the ghouls were? If you look at the mob and think inspect, you'll get some basic info, Arvellin replied. Also, I'm good. You, Bran? Yep, all topped off on stamina and health, Bran said back. How about you, Lilia? I asked, turning toward her. She met my eyes. I'm actually good, I think. I'm doing okay. A small, almost shy smile tugged at her lips, just the softest hint of warmth. I'm glad, I said, smiling and offering her a hand. She hesitated just for a second before taking it, pulling herself up. We regrouped and started down one of the halls. This way, pretty sure, Bran said. The cells were back here. We continued down the hall, the sound of muttering drifting toward us. A voice. Male, rough and raspy. Me. It was too faint to make out clearly. We crouched lower, moving in quiet steps. The torchlight wavered along the stone, casting shadows that twisted around each corner before us. The muttering grew louder the closer we got, still low but urgent, like the words were trying to claw their way out of his throat. Help! Kill! We reached the corner and Bran motioned for us to hang back. He eased forward first, peering around. Then he froze. I stepped up beside him. The cell sat at the end of the hall, its iron bars warped and rusted but still holding. Inside, a man slumped against the wall, leather armor scuffed but intact, wrists raw and bleeding where they'd been restrained by chains. His head lifted slowly at the sound of our approach. For a moment, his eyes lit up with something like relief. Bran, he rasped. His voice cracked halfway through the name. You came back. Bran didn't answer right away. Yeah, hey man, sorry about... The man's relief crumbled, his face twisting into something hollow and desperate. Please, he said, the word catching in his throat. Kill me. Thank you for listening. If you want to read ahead, you can find the link to my book on Royal Road in the video description. If you're enjoying the story, please feel free to leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. If you like my way of storytelling, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be writing and uploading more chapters and stories soon. Thank you so much for listening.